Hello everybody, Average Gamer here. Welcome to a quick little video about news for Grand Theft Auto for Supreme Ruler Ultimate, The Great War. So, we just got a little bit of news, not too much news, just a little bit of news and a sneak peek. We got some news about the fact that the UI is being worked on, still a work in progress. It looks like they're using Supreme Ruler Ultimate as the base, and they're kind of building from there. They released a picture of a German World War I tank and what looks like a SOP with camel, I'm assuming, or it's another aircraft. I'm going to zoom down here. There we go with all those. They released some information about the fact that they're working on some regions. They're working on the infrastructure system. For those of you who don't know, in 1914, the primary function or the primary ability to send troops from town A to town B was rail. Roads were from you'd have like one major road from one city to another, maybe, and it would be dirt. Cars were still, well, this is the Model T era, if I'm not mistaken. Cars are not a big thing. We're going to be fighting with a lot of infantry and a lot of artillery in this game, so be prepared. Be prepared. Overall, they're saying they're working on the map. Obviously, they have to change the map where it is, the countries are, and all that stuff, which is no big deal, because you just move the borders. Since, you know, there should be a map editor coming out soon, apparently. Other than that, they're working on the music for the game, which will be interesting. They're also working on refinements and things like that to the actual game itself. They're having some issues with the engine, with quote-unquote new features that are being included and added into the game. So, that's about it. I want to comment on the UI a little bit, and just some of the things I'm thinking about. First off, the UI looks a lot like the 1936 UI, to be honest with you. It is obviously alpha, as it says in the picture, so I'm assuming the UI we're seeing now is going to be fairly different than the one we're going to see in the final product. But here is what I think the UI should look like. I think it should be dirty. Wood and raw iron. Like, back in the day, back in the 1912s, 1914 era, it was a lot of iron, a lot of steel, a lot of coal, a lot of wood. So, my theory would be, dirty it up a little bit, make it kind of look like, well, someone's been burning coal near it to, you know, keep you warm. Have it made of wood, and have it made out of iron. So you have that red iron color, but then it's also grimy because of the coal. Then you have all the wood, right? You'll have holes in the wood because you're at war, right? So, I mean, it's the Great War. It's all about the industrial ability to wage war. It was all what the Great War was. It was basically the ability of the world, or well, mostly Europe, obviously, to wage war on an industrial scale. It was the first quote-unquote industrial war, is what people call it. Now, or what some people call it, at least some historians. A couple other things I would like to see involved in it is a change up to the speed. Since we're going to be using a lot of infantry units, you know, we're going to have to see what we can do about the speed changes. Artillery is probably going to have to be changed up a little bit. Mainly because of just the way artillery was utilized in World War I, where you'd move it into a position, dig it in, and you'd be dug into a one spot for 6 to 8 months, and then you'd have to move it up, and it was a pain in the butt to move it. Trench warfare, being able to dig trenches. And I don't mean just to be able to right-click a unit and click entrench, I mean to actually dig trenches. Change the road system into trench systems. Because the trenches during World War I were basically the highways of the troops. They stretched for tens of kilometers on either side. And I don't mean like width-wise, I don't mean like the fact that they stretched from the channel all the way down to the Alps. I mean like the actual thickness. You would actually enter the actual lines, the actual trenches, 10 to 15 kilometers behind the lines. And it would just be constant trenches and bunkers and all this stuff. You'd have a primary trench line, a secondary trench line, a tertiary trench line, a support trench line, supply trench lines, command trench lines, supply lines, which is one of the why they're there. It's insane. If you see some of the pictures of how big like actual World War I pictures were taken, you would see this the no man's land in between the two lines, but you would see that both trench lines stretch out as far as the eye can see. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So somehow we're going to have to be able to build these trench networks. I'm looking forward to that. And they really didn't take long to build. That was the thing, right? They'd be pretty quick. Also, one of the other things that was a big deal in World War I was defensive lines. You had the Hindenburg line. I think the other one was the Gottsfeld line. You had the French had defensive lines, the British had defensive lines, the Canadians, we had defensive lines around Ypres, the last holdout of Belgium. Overall, these big defensive lines were designed with massive bunkers and enforcements and all this stuff. I want to be able to build these things, not just by right-clicking and click fortification, but I actually want to see an actual trench system build up. As the Germans punching through Belgium, punching into France, and then seeing my troops slowly get bogged down, I want to be able to click them and say, entrench, and actually all of a sudden see the guy, instead of going to a walking stance, all of a sudden he stops and starts digging. And when he stops digging, you basically just see the unit, and basically the guy, you basically just see like a little icon on the map saying, there's no trenches here. It will be amazing. Amazing. As an icon, you use, depending on the direction, obviously, what you do is you put a little thing of barbed wire, say in the bottom left-hand corner, or even just do completely encircled with barbed wire, and just do like an X. Or even have a little hatch pattern on it. And once you attach another one to the right or to the left, the barbed wire, instead of encompassing, all of a sudden goes around like the roads do. And all of a sudden slowly gets bigger. You can also draw, maybe even, where you want your trenches to be. Have it so that you can design primary trench lines, secondary trench lines, and then also actually draw on the map your defensive lines, where you're going to have your massive hard fortifications in case your two primary lines get breached. Other than that, aircraft didn't really play a major factor. It was all about industrial capacity and your ability to outproduce arms and basically outlast your opponent. Is all about the meat grinder. So industrial capacities are going to be a big deal in this game, so we'll have to see how that works out. Basically just industrial goods on a massive scale. It'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting. I'm looking forward to getting more news. I'm looking forward to getting some more information on the game. Hopefully we'll hear a little bit more in the next coming days or weeks or whatever about new features. Obviously there's going to be new units because it's World War I. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next news video, or if you guys watch any of my other videos. See you guys later. Have a good day. See you on the battlefield. Bye-bye.